Hey everybody, this is Eric with the Drum Attic, and thank you for joining us for another episode of The Backbeat. I should probably look at the camera. I am so psyched to have my friend Martin Bellamy from MBDrums here today. Martin, how are you, man?
Eric, dude, I'm doing great. I'm
I
super
love it.
excited for this.
Good,
Yeah, man.
good. We're gonna have fun. Well, you guys, Martin um, is a phenomenal drummer. He's a phenomenal all-around musician. He plays the bass and the guitar as well as the drums, and probably anything else that's musical. And and he is
Maybe.
the master of mixing and editing. He's taught me a lot that I know about mixing my audio here in the Drum Attic. Um, so, Martin, tell me how what from the beginning, what got you into to drums or music in general?
Sure. Yeah, well, I guess I've always been musical and always just loved diving into music. It started out with the Beatles. I was thinking about this earlier today and I was like, I'm pretty sure I got my first kit with a normal bass drum around grade 3, I want to say. But before that, I had like the Fisher Price, whatever tin symbol, all that. It,
Right.
I think it had to be around kindergarten or something like that because it started way, way early. And so yeah, ever since I'd listened to the Beatles, I was like, oh wow, who's the drummer Ringo? Oh, like what a cool name. So then I just fell in love with that and then became obsessed. And then once I once I got like this normal kit, um, it was like a Pearl export. One of my good friends in school, he played guitar, and we're like, well, you want to jam? So
As you
we,
should, yeah.
yeah. So then we started jamming. Since then, we still play to this day. So it's been like 20 plus years of messing around. And when we started playing, we got a couple more guys in, and yeah, we evolved into like Guns N' Roses and like Zeppelin, Motley Crue, and then
Nice.
we attempted a few Avenged Sevenfold style songs, but yeah, so it was uh, it was just a gradual progression of starting out and then branching off. So, but yeah, it's always been a part of my life, and I think lessons, because I know that's probably a question people are going to ask, like, hey, did you have any lessons? And I believe it was 1 year of lessons. I want to say again, grade 3, grade 4, when I first got that kit, just to get the basics, like, your 4 on the floor beat.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, that was it. And then after that, when I was practicing, I would have my dad's record player and like all his Led Zeppelin albums, and I would do like the needle, setting it to like, okay, track 4, Ramble On or whatever, you know.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, but now like you got iPods and MP3s and whatever else, all the technology.
Yep, yep. It was for me. It was cassettes. When I
Oh
and I and I had like 100-watt PV amplifier,
yeah,
and I would just plug the cassette player into that and just put ear protection on, crank
yeah.
it up, and go to go to town on the drums. That's
Yeah.
cool. And then it was CDs, and then it was MP3s.
Yeah, yeah. Just got to make sure it's not the skip, like the Walkmans. Be careful those don't skip.
That's right. That's right. If you set it too near your kit, the vibrations would get you. Yep. It would fall off, and yeah,
No.
not again. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. I love it, man. And so,
yeah.
so how long have you been playing, like in earnest? From like
Uh,
third grade till now. How many years does that make?
oh,
I'm not trying
geez.
to. You don't have to tell me how old you are. I'm just curious how long you've been at it.
Yeah. Was that like I found a receipt in an old yearbook because I was just flipping through it and I was like, oh, this is from the local music shop. And I'm like, 2006. Oh, so and I think that was like grade 10. So if we do the math, that's 16. It's probably like 20 to 25 years, something like that, like
Nice.
actual kit playing.
Yeah.
A few years here and there where I didn't play because I went to school and all the other stuff, but it's been, you know,
School.
who needs it?
Quit your job, play your drums.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been, 20, 25 years, something like that. But
Dude, that's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Even like, you don't need a kit to play. Like even in like on a desk, I'll be like sitting there, like just doing, trying to match like "Bleed" by Meshuggah or something, which is
nice.
You know that song? Or?
I'm vaguely familiar with it. Yeah.
It's a workout. Yeah.
Those make me tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like those.
I'd probably lose a lot more weight if I'd approach those songs, even like try to play them, like
yeah.
just for my own
you
physical.
You ever put a step counter on your like bass drum foot when you're
I am
drumming?
not.
Do it.
Okay.
It'll be like, congratulations, you just ran 5K. Or like or like whatever the equivalent is in miles or something. Sorry,
That's awesome.
I'm doing metric, my bad.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I realize that the United States is the only holdout in the world for the metric system. And but we do call it a 5K, which is totally stupid. Like we're like, no metric system. You want to run a 5K?
Yeah.
How many miles is that? Anyways, tell me a little bit about the thought behind I love your doesn't need double bass. And I know it's a rhetorical question because we had some go back and forth, like, of course it does.
Yeah.
You're like, it always needs
everything needs double bass.
What was the thought behind that?
Honestly, it was so I started the channel. I had the idea for years and I was just like, I should do this one day. And then the summer before COVID hit, I was like, we're doing it. So I think I started June 2019. And the first, I want to say year, I did strictly like just like covers. And then I started, my music taste is anything from like James Brown to like Mozart to Lamb of God or whatever. Like it's abstract. So
that runs the gamut.
Yeah. And anything in between. But then I started like whenever I jam, I'd play to like rap or like something where I was like, this would sound a lot cooler with this instead. And then I was, I think I was playing the first song that I did with just stupid drums. It was Cake by the Ocean. So this DNCE Nick Jonas song, like super pop. And I was like, nah, let's just add some double bass into this. And I started talking to my friends and I was like, I think I want to do more like that. And they're like, you should make a series out of it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make a series. So then I think after a night of just fooling around, we came up with does it need double bass? Or like we were thinking like, double bass Tuesdays or something weird like that. And so yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then they were like, you should do this theme song. And I was like, ooh, maybe I will.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. And that's awesome. That's honestly what it is. Like I'll choose a song and it'll be like, I'll know the general like gist of it. And then I'll sit down, I'll literally just make it up within the recording session. So even like I did the Family Guy theme song. And so that one I was just like, okay, like I've heard the theme song a billion times. Let's just sit down. I'll listen to it on repeat, kind of like map out what I feel would fit right. And then turn on the camera and start recording until I get the take where I'm like, that's the one. So yeah,
love it.
It's a lot of like just weird ideas that I have. And I'm like, this could work. I'm like, all right, we can roll with this. So
I love
Yeah.
it. Just let that. I love the creativity of it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You know, that's awesome. And you
Yeah.
and it's clear to me. I mean, I studied like film production and all this stuff. So like I have an idea of like when I see somebody's video, how much effort goes into editing it. But then when you show like your tracks and your stuff,
Oh,
I'm like, holy moly,
what the heck?
like he is not screwing around. He's really
Yeah. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
serious. And I think that one of the ones that probably took you the most time and most painstaking time
Yeah.
was when somebody stole your audio and was playing to it and you made that video of I've been plagiarized.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I laughed my butt off, but I was so impressed with the
Like the,
professionalism that you did the video with.
because man, that was a like like just don't do that. you
Yeah.
know. But I like reached out, like I was like, hey man, pretty sure this is like from this video, like just want to chat. And then like I kind of kept checking the comments to see if he would respond, and then I saw a different comment that just got blasted. Like it was the same thing, like, hey dude, like something's not right. And he's like, it's all my audio. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh no. So like he clearly saw it, and like it would have been cool if it would have been all right if he was just like, hey, I used so and so's audio for practice, yada yada. Like, I don't know. And but so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just dive into it. Like kind of showed like, yeah, the editing process was pretty wild because it's like, here's mine, here's his, here's the audio from mine, here's the and then yeah, then at the end of the video, to the best of my ability, and if he ever watches this, Mr. Peter Griffin, apologies, and if you want to chat, just let me know.
You got such a good attitude. I love it.
But I was like, what is he actually playing? Because the audio that was in my video was cranked. I'm like, okay, let's take the video, we'll put it into Logic, because you can put like a video into Logic. I don't know if you knew that. And then yeah, so you can go frame by frame, just arrowing over on the keys. And so whenever, like if we've both edited enough drum videos to know like when a stick hits, even if it's like every 2 frames, the stick will move, like every arrow over it's do. So I like lined up where each hand would hit, and I did 1 limb at a time. So I was like, all right, this one I'm focusing on that, like ride cymbal, crash, right? So like program these drums in. It took like probably 3 or 4 hours to do. And I was like, all right, we finally got it. So that's what was at the end. And I'm like, kind of felt a little awful, but at the same time, I was like, just if you're doing drum videos, be real. That's all. I don't know.
Well, and at the end of the day, I feel like you're Martin Bellamy. You have your own style and sound. So we have one of you.
Yeah.
We don't need anybody else to try to. I mean, not that we can't go, oh, I like what Martin's doing. I want to practice more and get my chops tighter. But like, I shouldn't make it my point to just sound like a clone of you. Or like not even to just clone of it, to take you and make it look like your mind, because we all bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
Musically and just personality wise, and it's like, I mean, he had his own thing going on. It just was like, it was just odd to me.
It was odd, and then like to see him interact with everybody else in the comment sections, and I was like, no, like please don't direct hate to anybody else. Like I would like to talk to you. And he avoided it, and then challenged me to a drum battle, and I was like, no, you don't need to do that.
Let's handle this like men, or at least 12-year-olds. I challenge you to
my thing. You took my cover of a cover.
This drum community isn't big enough for the both of us. Oh, that's funny. I love it. Well, Martin, tell me. Oh, go ahead. Did you have something else to say? I'm sorry.
No, we'll keep going.
All right, cool. So tell me a little bit about aside from the drums,
Yeah.
I know you have a normal, I hate to say it, like a normal job.
Yeah. I'm a
But
real person outside of this. Yeah.
I don't just play drums all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
tell me just a little bit about your 9 to 5 job.
Sure. Yeah. So what I do is I'm a concrete formwork design engineer. So I do structural engineering work, if you want to call it that. So I'll be reviewing designs and approving them, sending them out, all this stuff. But that's my 9 to 5 through Monday to Friday. And then weekends I get to edit. And like every weeknight I get to edit. So, but yeah, so I went to university here in Ontario. I'm in Canada. I went to McMaster for 4 years of civil engineering, and then out of that, I've always had a job. So that's really fortunate, and you know, happy for that. And that's what kind of fuels most of the gear. But it like even all this crap here, it's been accumulating since early high school. You know,
Sure.
I think my first jobs were like I would bike around with a like a trailer on the back of my bike and then the lawnmower on there. And I'd like go to like 7 different houses during the week and like cut the lawn just to save up enough money to buy a drum set.
I love it.
So that's actually the kit that's in most of the videos. It's that big red one.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
yeah,
I love
so
it.
it was I remember showing up with like bags of quarters and being like, I've got it.
And they were like, oh crap.
Like, can I count this? Yeah.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the drums, kid. Get out of here.
Yeah.
What else do you like to do in your in your it sounds like you stay pretty busy between, you know, the drums and the job, but if you ever have any free time, what else, what do you like to do outside of music and work?
Oh man, I do so in the summer / pretty much whenever it's not snowing out, we do me and a couple guys, we go mountain biking. So that's pretty fun. Sometimes pretty terrifying if you get going fast enough.
That's
But yeah, it's either mountain biking or road riding, depending on, you know, time of day or whatever. But cycling is usually a big thing. And then hiking as well. I'm in Hamilton, which is an area that has a ton of waterfalls.
oh nice.
So usually in the summertime, maybe like even the winter, I've gone on a couple hikes even the past few months here and just checked out the waterfalls and, you know, just like get away from everything. You know, you're like, all right, this is cool. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's mainly revolved around, you know, either writing music on guitar or bass, or, you know, practicing rudiments and all that stuff, which is kind of new to me because usually when I learn mostly by ear. So if somebody's doing this crazy fill, they could be doing, I don't know, like paradiddle flam, whatever's, and I'll just be like, I think it goes like this, and then I'll just like try to do something that matches. So
Make it comfortable, like, and then it's
yeah,
like, okay, well that sounds good.
yeah, yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, outside of drumming though, it's, you know, not too crazy with anything else. Like it's majority of the time is like either thinking about drumming or thinking about wanting to play drums. You know?
When I'm not drumming, I'm thinking about it because I really want to be playing.
Yeah, even at work, sometimes I'll find myself like with a headphone in and I'll be like starting to tap and I'll be like, no, we got to get back to work, focus.
Right. I get it. Now, that bass sitting behind you,
Yeah.
that you built that, right?
Yeah, so this is one that I made. So it's Bell for Bellamy. And it's a African mahogany, but like this was legit just a block of wood, And
Nice.
in my shop class in like grade 11 or 12, the shop teacher was like, hey, do you, like the final year project was like make a trinket box. I'm like, I'm not gonna use that. Like, so I like, went up to him like, hey, you mind if I build a guitar instead? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh,
Like he didn't think I'd be able to do it. And I was like, okay, all right, we'll put it to it. If it works, then it'll be my grade. And he's like, all right. So
nice.
then I went to town, like it's a maple neck, I believe ebony fretboard here, because it is dark enough to be. But yeah, I had a
Beautiful.
kind of a he was a violin maker, and he helped me out with kind of like what appropriate things to do with the neck and truss rod and all this stuff. So it wasn't all me. It was a little bit of help here and there.
Oh,
But
well, that's how we learn, man.
yeah.
Listen, I wouldn't be making snare drums if I hadn't had a couple people going, you should probably put a block of wood behind the shell when you drill it, you know, like, so,
That's a good point.
oh, you mean not like this? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but then you take that and you get comfortable, you find your, your place with that stuff, and then you
Yeah.
build it. That's awesome, dude. That's killer. That looks beautiful.
Yeah. And I've got two more that I've made too. One is the 6-string, which is a little bit more extreme. It's like a flying V. No, not a flying V, sorry, an explorer shape. And then the other one is a fretless. So that's a cool bass because it just sounds like a fretless bass. And
Right. It does have a different tone too. Yeah. When
yeah.
especially when you're making the notes and stuff. That's so cool, dude. I love
Yeah.
it.
So
Love it.
yeah.
Let's see here. What else can I ask you? Let me look at my script. Just kidding. That's an invoice.
Question 4. Look at camera first.
Yeah. Oh, am I looking at myself or the I'm so bad about that. Like where I do a lot of talking to the camera,
Yeah.
I will be like, hey everybody. And I'm like I'm watching myself and it's like, who am I talking to? Who's that good looking guy over there? Let's talk to him. He sounds like he's got some good stuff to say. What do you you've had a degree, a really good degree of success growing your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Too. What have you found has been working for you, or what have you found is a waste of time in terms of trying to grow a channel? That's a big question. Sorry.
I guess because like I won't run ads, and I've thought about it. I know we've had a few discussions, and I'd be like, "Wow, think of the possibilities."
Yeah.
but but part of me was like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing for now. But like, I think consistency is key. That's one thing that I like try to do a video a week, and like usually so I'll do like a normal cover, and then I'll just release the drums only. And that's usually a week where I can just kind of like relax from editing, because it is, this as much as I do, it's tough releasing a video every single week, something that's new, right? You got to mix it, edit it, do all the thumbs, promote the crap out of it. It's like every single week it could be real tough, especially with like full-time job and all that stuff. So sometimes it's totally draining. But yeah, in terms of getting the ball rolling with subscribers and all that, I think just the one thing that I don't know if it's attributing to it, but part of me is like, the does it need double bass thing, like that's something that is unique to this channel. Whereas or like collabs for you do a ton of collaborations, which is awesome. So that drives a whole bunch of like traffic towards your channel and the other drummers channel, which
we should do also, side note.
Yeah, especially after we've gone through mixes and things like that. So
but let's not do a really difficult song. You play a lot of hard stuff, and I'm really not that good.
No,
So,
don't doubt yourself. Come on.
no, anyway, but yeah, so collabs and yeah, we've done that, and then, but yeah, and now it reminds me, my new series is going to be called "Does It Not Need Double Bass?" And
You're just doing straight beats.
I'm just going to re-release all my own covers.
Yeah.
And no, I'm kidding, I'm playing. But yeah, but see, but that's cool because that's something that's uniquely you,
Yeah.
and so I think that draws people in too because
Yeah.
it's
Now,
not
like,
only a great idea, it's really well done.
oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, because there's a couple other channels which do like game theme songs and like things that aren't like necessarily um, like like what you would expect a drum cover to be, because usually it's like a song with drums, right? So there are a few channels that do that, which is wicked and they're awesome. But I think it's something a little bit different, and even it works for those channels too, right? So like yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is at least trying the best to respond to everybody, even if it's negative. I've had a couple people be like, "Oh, you missed the mark on the groove on this one," brr, brr, brr. And I'm like, all right, I'll respond to that. Be like, thanks for the comment. Be like, can we discuss this? Like, where can I improve? But
And
yeah,
typically they don't respond to that.
they don't.
Yeah.
I haven't had one. Like,
Same.
come on.
That's
But
frustrating. But yeah,
yeah,
responding to everybody's comments, that's a good one. Yeah.
yeah. So that's one. Or even when you do respond and they respond back, because sometimes like the YouTube notifications won't tell you if somebody responded back to a comment. So, sometimes I'll like be scrolling through comments if somebody comments on an old video, and I'll just do a quick scroll through, and usually you can tell if somebody's responded if there's like 2 responses, and I'm like, oh no. I may have asked like, hey, what's your favorite song from this album? Like try to make it personal to
Yeah.
whoever is on the other side. So that's another thing too, just kind of like make it more than just like a hey bro, good job, thanks. Like be like, thank you so much. Like what's your favorite song, or like what's your favorite album or whatever, like something like that. Because then it's
Right.
I don't know, it gives a little bit more personal touch. So
Yeah.
but I don't know if that works in terms of growing the channel. But the other thing too would be scheduling. So I've got this big piece of paper on my wall, and it's got every month, and I'm writing down, okay, I need to post an Instagram here, I need to do a TikTok there, and here's a short, here's a silly meme day or whatever, like just trying to make it as consistent as possible across all these different platforms. And so that's one thing to be just be organized, right? Like I found even on TikTok, like I know we're on YouTube and all that, but it's super easy to make a short, like a vertical format video, and then you can schedule that on the majority of all the other apps, and you almost don't even need to be there. So
it just releases. Yeah.
Yeah. So even on TikTok, you can schedule that stuff. So I'll take, like, for instance, the recent cover that I did was Black Dog. This is February 16th, if anyone's watching this in the future. 2022. Captain's Law.
Exactly.
We travel back in time. Yeah, so like what I'll do is I'll take, like 10 or 15-second clips of parts where it's like, okay, this would be cool. Just schedule it throughout the week. And then by the time you're editing the next one, you can do the same thing. Yeah. So, and you can follow analytics and all that stuff, see what the best time to post is. So that's another thing. So it's just kind of interacting and scheduling when it makes the most sense to get, clicks and things. And dude, one of the videos I had done was this Motley Crue Cowbell montage video. And it was like, I had gone through what I thought was the whole catalog of Motley Crue songs, which is huge. And so I was like, all right, I got this Tommy Lee Cowbell. I need to do a video just focusing on what that cowbell is supposed to be on. so I did that, and it sat like usually the videos get, you know, a couple hundred views each month, whatever. So it had been up for like 7 months, and it was maybe just at like 1,200 views. And then one morning it was just like whoosh, just skyrocketed. It was like, oh my God, what the heck's happening here? So yeah, seeing that happen, I was like, what the heck? So that kind of bumped the other videos up in terms of views. It, you know, brought new traffic to the channel, everything else. But part of me was like, is it because it was a montage video? Like, is it because it was like, you know, like one of those top 10 videos? Those are always popular. So
right. Or was it the cowbell?
It might have been the cowbell. Yeah.
I mean, let's not discount that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, what other bands use cowbell? The people need the cowbell.
They do. That's what they demand. That is what they're demanding.
Yeah.
So I think, and a lot of times I feel like there's no rhyme or reason. Like especially with shorts on YouTube.
Yes.
And we like you said, we had talked about promotion, and of course we did pay to promote like our promo video for Added Custom Drums, and then there's been a couple videos that I did pay to promote just to see if we could draw some more subscribers in.
And that's totally perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's other, but most of them we haven't done that on. And then you'll get a short, like the last couple shorts we put up, you get like 50 views in a week, and other ones you'll like check in the morning and you've got 10 views, and then by noon you have 2,000 views, and you're like, how did that just happen?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know exactly what you mean, because you know, when you log into your YouTube, it's like it'll show you what the most views in the last 48 hours was on your channel or whatever. Right. And I checked that like a day ago, and it was like 1,200 views on a short that I did like a month ago. I'm like, what? I thought that was dead.
I think that was going anywhere. We had that happen too on a video. I just assumed, oh well, that's okay, and nobody watched it. And then a month later, somehow it got traction and had 5,000 views or something crazy like that. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I think I saw that one too, and I was like, oh wow. Like, dang, Eric.
It was a milestone for us. We're like, we've never had this many views.
Welcome. Please stay.
Please subscribe.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound needy, but please do subscribe.
Yeah. No, definitely.
What do you find is the in terms of YouTubing? What do you find is the how do I say this? Like the most difficult thing? Like, I mean, you talked about consistency, which is great, and I think interacting with people, and when interacting, not just like typing a comment and then copying and pasting it, and everybody's if it's a pretty tight knit community. You start dropping copies and pastes, people are going to know it.
Get out of here.
That's what she said on my channel, you know? I guess I'm not special.
Yeah.
But so I think that's important. But like, what do you find is one of the most difficult things to maintain in keeping your YouTube channel, aside from creating content?
Yeah. I'd say the most difficult thing some days is like just having the motivation to do it, because like some days you'll get in a rut. You may have been here, and or if there's any YouTube aficionados watching, you may have been here too. But like some days maybe it was just a bad day and you're not feeling good or whatever, and you're like, oh, I have to make a video to post, and like you're not into it, so it's like the effort's not going to be there, and it's sometimes tough to just get in that mindset of like, okay, let's go. So that's one thing I would say, because that's happened a few times, and then like maybe every like 3 or 4 months I'll just be like, you know what, we're taking a break this week, we're not doing anything.
And that's important too, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So But the other thing too, like once, and I've had this conversation with a few other drummers too, and it's like once you finish a mix, or like once you finish like just setting up the skeleton framework in a video editing session for a cover, you're like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yes.
But
yeah,
another tough thing is just like, because usually if somebody comments on my videos, I'll like go to their channel, check it out, because majority of the viewers are drummers. So so I'll like go to their channel, but after a while, like there's just so many. It's like I'd love to go to everyone's channel and, you know, fully watch everything they have and be like, this is so sick. But like in the reality, it's like you don't have time for everything. So you gotta do it as you can. So that's one thing where just making time. So
I agree with that.
yeah. And like just as one person, you know, like you're probably just the brains of the operation, or even I don't know if Loretta does any of that stuff too.
No, but she's about to. She doesn't know it.
Hey honey, I got a special job for you. Could you just do the channel stuff today?
I know how much you love being a part of the Drum Addict.
Yeah.
Here, see these 1,000 comments? We take care, like as if we've ever had 1,000 comments in one sitting. But like, but here, take care of these 10 comments before me. I'm tired today.
Yeah. So that's one of the things too, or even getting comments, responding to them all, and making like the unique answers to each and every one. Because sometimes I'll find myself being like, they'll be like, "Oh, wicked drumming." I'll be like, "Thank you, I really appreciate that comment." And I'll like write that, and I'll be like, "I've said that for the last 5 comments," and like
That's
I'm
so
physically
hard.
typing it out. Like, oh no, are they? It's like, so.
It's hard because when you get so many comments to respond to.
Yeah.
It's easy just to kind of get into like almost an autopilot.
Yeah.
And but my favorite comments are the one where I'll post like a premiere, like so you can't even watch it yet. People are like, dude, this video kicked all kinds of butt, you know, or they're like great drumming. And like, and I try, I
Not even live yet.
I can be a sarcastic person, and so like I try to always be kind. And be like, hey, thanks. Be sure to stop by Wednesday at 8, you know, like for the premiere.
Why don't you check it out when it's live?
If you think that was something, you should actually watch the video when it's available to watch, you know, like. But but it is a lot of work, but it's worth it, I think, because I know like even you know, there's a handful of people on here that I've kind of connected with over the last 2 years. You know, and in varying degrees, like developed friendships with, and you know, you being one of those people. And I might have said it earlier when we were talking, but I mean, you changed the way that I'm mixing my audio for our videos, you know. And but beyond that, you're a fun guy. Like, and I like talking to you, and you're always quick to help out. If I mean, I've asked you questions about, you know, different drum stuff, and kind of gotten your feedback on it. And I love that, because I love to have feedback.
And that's what I mean. Like, if I'm not working or cycling or hiking, I'm thinking about drums. Like literally everything. Like even like on this bass drum back here. This is actually a second bass drum to the kit that's in the like, recording studio. So I do have 2 bass drums, but it's just, this is a nerdy thing that I've always thought about too. Like, you have to tune both identical, mic them both identical to get the same sound. So that's why I stick to 1 bass drum. And that could be like one of those weird pointer tips. I don't know. But like weird stuff like that, I'll sit on it for like a day and be like, how's this going to affect the sound? Like, what happens to, like, I'm going to have to move this here and that there. And like it.
Oh, dude, I get it. I'll wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh, really?
And I'll be like, oh, that's how that needs to be played. You know, like it'll, or like, how would we do that on a snare drum? You know, like, and I'm a good guy, so I don't go, hey babe, guess what?
Wake up! It's 3 a.m. I've got an idea.
You're not sleeping, right? Not anymore. But yeah, I get that. Like and you know, even when I am working, and
Yeah,
probably one of my biggest frustrations with my job
yeah,
is that it's does not involve the drum attic or attic custom drums. And
yeah,
so that's where I find most of my anxiety with work comes from. I'll be like
yeah.
at this computer, like
Uh-huh.
responding to comments and the phone will ring, and I'll go, you know, like the very thing I'm sitting here getting paid to do, you know, over and it's like
Yeah,
I get grumpy about it. Thanks for
yeah,
the money. I hate it.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's good.
Yeah,
Well, Mark, what would you say? We'll kind of wrap up with. I think we've talked about everything we had talked about talking about
yeah,
at the
yeah. We've
before
hit a few
record.
points. Yeah.
Um, Anybody that's starting out with drums, what would your advice be to them?
Oh, good question. I would say, uh, well, first of all, stick to the basics. Like, stick to the AC/DCs, stick to the, the Beatles. Like, as easy as they may sound, they're they're really good for learning like basic stuff. And some of the songs, uh, even like Ticket to Ride. I remember learning that one. It's like do da do da do da do do. Right? That's a tough beat when you're learning out, or
Yeah.
when you're starting to learn. So I would say start with a band that you like that's, on the relatively easy side in terms of drums or whatever. And like, even if you have a teacher, someone who's like a mentor musically, kind of pick their brain a little bit. And I know it's so easy to get lost in these insanely talented drummers. Like, even watching some like Alex Rudinger or like Krim, they're both crazy, insane metal drummers. And like sometimes I'll watch those guys and be like, I'll never be that good. Be like, why am I even playing? So like,
Yeah.
I would say don't let like that put you off of learning the drums, because it's once you get a good foundation and you've practiced and like slowly built up skills, you'll get there. um like, so that's one of the main things I would say is stay, well, that, and just stay consistent at it, even if it's an hour a week, even if you're playing on a pillow, or like, I'll sit when I'm just like on the couch and I'll just do this, and I'll
Well,
have
that's why
another.
we practice, though.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what happens. I'll go, oh no, I dropped a stick, and then you just keep on going, or you're hitting your leg. You know,
I have bruises on my knees
yeah,
from that very thing. Yeah.
hit the spot there.
Yeah. Well, my reflexes are good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Drumming is useful for all kinds of things.
yeah. Check yourself out. Okay, we're good.
My
Things are still working.
That's good. We've not hit the age where my reflexes are out. Thank
Yeah,
God. Yeah. Well, that's really good advice. Being consistent,
yeah,
and I think good teachers. My teacher was one of these guys. When you're
yeah,
learning, will not just give you like rudiment books. I mean, they will bring that in
yeah,
because it's important to learn those basic things. And
yeah.
but they'll also want to make it fun for you. I think
That's
Steven's Drum Shed. I always want to say Steven Tyler, but I think it's Steven Taylor. Maybe it is Tyler. I can't remember. Sorry, Steven.
yeah,
But he's said that too. He wants it to be fun. If you go home and you're like, oh my gosh, I just have all you get to do is right, left, right, right. You know,
get
no,
out
like
of here.
apply that to the kit immediately. Like and like I love what you said. Find a band you like and start
Yeah,
trying to learn what you're hearing
yeah,
and you know and how that applies to a drum, you know, a drum set.
yeah.
And you'll get it wrong. And that's okay.
Exactly. And it takes time. Like, whenever, like, that's it, that's the same thing. And you don't have to play things note for note. Like, don't get hung up on that. Like, for me personally, I find it a challenge to do note for note covers and all this stuff, but that's some next level crazy. Like, you should probably just not spend that much time on one song. But even if it's a song like I don't know, like Britney Spears or something, do your own thing on top. Like, just if it's something that you're like, okay, well, I don't know that, but this would sound good there, or something, you know, have the ability to improvise is something else that you can develop over time. And I think that's super important, because then even like jamming in a band, and I don't know, I recently talked to my one guitar player and was like, hey, is like Battle of the Band still a thing at our high school? He's like, no, man, they got rid of that years ago. And I'm like, no. So like, if you're in an area where you have a bass player or a guitarist, like, just set up a night a month or something and just jam, because like, you'll learn eye contact and, you know, how things feel when you're playing music in a live setting compared to like just listening to it on a headphone or something like that. So that's another, I could talk all day about like lessons and like what you should and shouldn't do, or whatever. Don't do it if you don't want to.
We'll do a part 2. We'll do a part 2. We'll like the Backbeat part 2 with Martin Bellamy, and it'll be like pitfalls to avoid and rope bridges to use. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what we would call it, but we'll get working on that, because that was not a good idea title wise. Well, Martin, dude, it has absolutely been such a fun thing to get to chat with you. Again, like I said, I don't say this just to throw sunshine and rainbows at you, but I respect the heck out of you as a drummer, and just as an all around nice guy. I mean, I feel like what we see in the personality that comes out in your videos is who I've talked with, you know, off of YouTube, and who I've talked with tonight. You're just Martin.
Yeah,
that's
try
awesome.
to keep it real. And no, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast, and I'm loving what you're doing with all this, you know, your custom snares and incorporating it into the drum attic, and, you know, all the merch you're putting out. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh man, go Eric.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Maybe I'll send you a free shirt.
Oh, I'll have to get some merch for my stuff. I'll send some back. We'll do a trade.
Sounds good. All right, man. Well, hey, everybody. This has been Martin Bellamy with MBDrums. Go check out his channel if you haven't already subscribed. Show him some love. He's a great guy. You'll really be happy you subscribed. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We will see you next time. I'm looking at myself again.
Hey.
Peace out.